Organization often hear terms like TDE, file encryption, application level encryption, and field level encryption. Can you just throw some line on how are these approaches differ from each other?
So, well, in the previous question, I think Gaurav sir already explained with regards to data at rest or data in transit, but the kind of encryption that needs to be applied to your data, it also relies very heavily on the type of data that is there and at what level or at what, say, granularity are you trying to enforce the encryption. So these are also two very important, say, factors or parameters which determine the kind of encryption. Now, when there are so many terms in the market, such as you mentioned, file encryption or application level encryption. So this is what is basically covered in these two types that I said, whether we're trying to protect structured data or unstructured data. So in that case, for structured encryption, data encryption, we have got database level encryption, or further inside database level encryption, as I said, depending on the granularity, we have table space encryption or column level encryption. If you say want to focus on the unstructured data, then that is where you target the file systems or the storage servers and file repositories. Basically, that is where the encryption is applied. Application level encryption is again where you're making the changes into the application to say perform the encryption before it is getting transmitted, before the data is transmitted via any communication channel to another database or another application. So that is how the overall picture sits, So if you say that you want to perform data in transit encryption, then and data in transit, and let me be even more specific in this case. If you don't want to say rely on SSL TLS, that is basically a channel encryption, or it is a protocol that encrypts the communication channel. If you want to actually focus on encrypting the data packets, then that is where you have to say enable the encryption at the application level itself to achieve data in transit encryption. To achieve data at rest encryption, if you want say structured data protection, then you have to do database encryption. If it is file server encryption, that is for unstructured data. So this is how the entire say picture sits in some kind of a hierarchy, wherein some of it makes sense or correlates, but some of it is targeted or very specific to the use case. If you see data in use, then there is again some specific techniques which allow you to perform operations on encrypted data itself, that is called as homomorphic encryption, or else you can even consider certain tokenization techniques or masking techniques wherever the data is already in use, but it is in some partially or fully protected manner. So this is how the whole picture sits.